1989. The manga series titled Berserk begins. Its first official appearance is in the monthly Animal House magazine in Japan. Unknown to everyone at the time, Berserk would become one of the best-selling manga series ever, and it is considered by most people to be the peak of comic books in general. I have to skip a little, so 2008. The third installment in the Devil May Cry series is released if we ignore this one, and please ignore that one. This time though, something is different. Instead of our usual cocky Dante, we have Nero, the angsty teenager, as the main character. This would later be improved in Devil May Cry 5. 2013. A spin-off of the Metal Gear Solid series is released. This game is Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. This game follows the story of
El exterminador de Cyborg,
as he is seen in the fourth game. 2016. The incredibly popular Doom series is rebooted under the name Doom 2016. Doom 2016 is a return to the original Doom games, but it is now in 3D, it's fast, it's brutal, and it's got a lot of guns. This concept will be expanded upon in Eternal. So, why did I talk about all these games? Well, because they all contribute to the main point of this video. They all have edgy main characters, and people just love them. Especially Raiden and Guts these past few years. But a few days ago, when I was just drifting off to sleep, a thought popped into my head. Why do we love these edgy characters when they could easily be considered cringe and made to appeal to 10-year-olds who just learned what blood is? Well, I've come up with two reasons as to why we love edgy characters. But before I start explaining the two reasons, I want to go over what edgy means. Edgy is a word that has been so overdone that it can mean multiple things. Edgy can refer to a character that has no depth and only acts cool and provocative because of that. Or edgy can mean a character that is purely threatening and cool with actual reasons for being that way, which is the meaning I will be going by in this video. Oh, and like I've said, the first reason is that they're just cool, and we love seeing people or characters doing cool stuff. That is just one of the traits that makes us human, up there with being able to feel complex emotions. But what exactly makes these characters cool? Well, I have two primary reasons. Firstly, I think it's mostly because of their ability to do inhuman things and just violence. For example, Guts and the Doomslayer. They both have superhuman strength. Guts can wield the Dragon Slayer, which is about 150 kilograms, and the Doomslayer can literally rip apart demons with his bare hands. Both characters can also take a lot of damage without dying. Come on, just look at these 2 pages when Guts is fighting Rosine, an apostle, so a demon-like being in the Berserk universe. She stabs him through the face, and Guts bites down on her blade, and then he swings his sword mid-air without losing control of the sword. Secondly and finally is the factor of appearance and coolness. Going off of Devil May Cry, we see these gothic jackets and trench coats that every character wears, which is fashion from the early 2000s, I think. You know, that part of the internet where everyone was like, "It's not a phase, mom, nobody gets me." The second reason I'm going to be talking about is surprisingly not talked about much. I haven't seen anyone talk about this. In media, we generally assume that characters embodying negative emotions are villains. And they often really are. Almost all supervillains and antagonists in general became that way because of negative emotions. For example, revenge, greed, anger, depression, etc. This gets boring after some time. Yes, the villain has actual reasons for doing what he or she does, but they do so much bad shit that it doesn't really matter. This is where edgy characters come in, since negative emotions are almost always used in the psychology of an edgy character. Characters like Guts, Doomguy, Nero, and Raiden all embody negative emotions as the main part of their character, and they aren't antagonists. Guts embodies the desire of revenge and rage, and we also see how this ends up with him just being tired near the end. Doomslayer obviously embodies anger, Nero embodies teenage angst, and once again, anger, yes, anger and rage are the most common emotions used for this, and Raiden embodies them too. This makes characters feel human and just realistic. Furthermore, it provides a better message as to why these negative emotions are bad. You actually see the progression of Guts' rage, and it makes you realize that his desire for revenge is unhealthy. You can also understand why these characters do this, and it's mostly, at least in media intended for late teenagers and adults, because of trauma. Guts is this way because the entirety of Berserk leading up to right after the Lost Children arc is just a bad things happening to Guts and his friends compilation. Guts has an incredibly traumatic childhood, and just when he thinks he got out of it, it happens again. But now, because of his closest friend who did nothing wrong, am I right? Doomslayer had his pet rabbit killed, but I guess that was enough trauma for him to just kill the entire demon race. And finally, Raiden was a child soldier, nicknamed Jack the Ripper because of his accomplishments in battle. These are the core reasons as to why these characters embody negative emotions so much, and it is also once again what makes them understandable and relatable. Not relatable as in a, "Oh my god, he is just like me" way, but relatable as in, "My god, I can actually imagine all of this happening, And this character's emotional status, even though I haven't gone through so much pain, is understandable and similar to my emotions sometimes. So practically most of them are what the internet calls literally me, semi-ironically. So, in conclusion, we love these edgy characters because of their ability to do inhuman things, their appearance, and the way that they embody negative emotions while being good characters. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe. Goodbye.